Hey, it is your buddy, Peace and Harmony with you here today. We are doing a great video here on a great viewer question, and I think it's a great focus because it comes out of an exploration. In other words, they're beyond just sort of blaming someone else in their life for how they feel. They're done just sort of blaming circumstances, and they want to know, how do I have the courage to face denial? In other words, they are looking at their relationship. Their relationship has become an issue of pain. It's become a source of suffering. It's become a source of conflict and confusion. And it's sort of overwhelming their life, their emotional life is really what ends up happening. And that affects your emotions and affects your thoughts. And your thoughts are things, and you will then be, supporting of a future that is founded and has a foundation in those emotions and those thoughts. So it creates kind of like a weave or like a tapestry or a rug or something that is foundational, like the way a house is built. It becomes the structure, if you will, where the windows are placed. And so you have this sort of outlook. And if you have you been in a relationship that has been traumatizing, that's made you quiet, that's made you go into hiding, it's been traumatizing, perhaps it's been so severe, so terrifying, that you've been sort of overwhelmed psychologically, and you've experienced sort of in a psychopathic relationship, which truly is like a psychological hijacking, just as if someone sort of takes over your emotions and leads them all in a specific direction, takes over your thoughts, leads them all in a specific direction, takes over your behavior, leads it all in a specific direction. It's really sort of being overwhelmed and being taken over, controlled, or manipulated. People often feel it's even under a spell. It can be used to describe all these different feelings. It feels demonic, it feels evil, it feels empty, but it'll cause one to live in denial, oftentimes through no fault of your own. It's an automatic process. It's an automatic survival mechanism. It is a reflex. So you have to understand that you can't fault yourself and feel bad and feel lower than or less than because maybe you've been in a denial state. Oftentimes news is very difficult. It's hard to handle in big chunks. So people then enter into denial. They enter into hiding, and they will stay in a cocoon or isolated or fear-like state. They'll maybe try to talk to other people about it, and they'll say, just shake it off. What's wrong with you? Let's go out. Let's meet some people. They don't get the gravity. They don't get the seriousness. They don't understand the degree of sort of psychological takeover, and then that confusion, and just it becomes in a chemical really imbalance within. Chemical meaning you don't feel or think clearly. You don't feel like your authentic self. It's like you're trying to get to that state. How do you get to that state? Realize that denial is an automatic mechanism, very much just like a knee-jerk reaction. It's instinctual, it's automatic, it's beyond your control. It's like the safety valve going, we're going into denial now, so that you can better ascertain and come to terms with where you're at. And so sort of emerging from that, you are in sort of this gaslit or brainwashed state, which means you're sort of still entertaining an illusion. You're living in a fantasy, meaning you're living in the promised false world of the narcissist or the psychopath. These individuals will create a future for you that is false. They'll create a future for you that does not happen. They'll create a future for you that is not real, that they don't have an intention to follow through on. They will paint you a picture that they have not, they will not share with you. In other words, they're painting an outcome that they have no intention of fulfilling. They have no intention of walking that walk with you or coming to that place with you. They are gaslighting, brainwashing, manipulating, and sort of operating out of that deception and that duplicity. Especially in a psychopath, the more I really feel oftentimes, and based on the individual, the more severe or traumatizing the relationship, the more serious and pronounced and incorporated into the personality of that individual will be the denial element. So oftentimes I feel that there is a correlation, especially if you're more empathetic, you'll probably live in more of that denial because you don't have the perspective or the skill set to be able to name things, label things as how you feel, and then move through it. And so you want to kind of shorten that cycle and be in the right direction, and be grounded, meaning I am okay in my body. For a lot of people who have been traumatized, this is not an easy experience. This is easier said than done. A lot of people have a very high baseline of anxiety, of adrenaline, of stress. It's like the difference between working in the emergency room and working in just the wake up unit after someone has been in surgery. I mean, it's a whole different vibe. And so this might not be your cup of tea. Living in denial, it becomes a very unwelcome cup of tea. In other words, it becomes a very bitter and painful and pain increasing cup of tea. So you need to stop drinking the Kool-Aid. You need to stop drinking that state of oftentimes of delusion or disillusion that the narcissist or the psychopath will have created for you. It's very uncomfortable. It's also very difficult and sad to have sort of your future shattered, your future vision taken away from you. It can be very debilitating because you have so much energy working towards that goal and towards that vision, and your I am is sort of built in and incorporated with this person or these people or these relationships, either present or not present, that the denial, can really ensue and be prolonged. So you have to be willing to exit out of that denial. In other words, what is the true reality that I need to embrace right now, and embrace it warmly? I feel that the denial will continue and perpetuate if there is a reality that is if it's a cold, unwelcome, distrusting reality, then you'll live in denial. You will not embrace the truth, and you will not feel liberated and free and secure and safe. So you need to embrace your future with a degree of warmth, a degree of acceptance, a degree of empathy and compassion for self, and to redirect your energy from that of trying to help others towards helping yourself. It has to become an energy shift, and you might need to go it alone. You might need to go solitary and clear out that sort of cobwebs from your vision and become a little bit more self-aware, self-possessed, and understanding your mission and your life purpose, and getting to know yourself better, and really human relationships overall. And realize that if you don't want a repeat of what you've been through, or you're in a amount of emotional pain, then don't put it on repeat. Just say cancel, 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 cancel. I'm removing the disc. Cancel, cancel. I'm removing the disc. Cancel, cancel. You need to work with how your brain works, and your brain has a vision. It has an ability to dream. You literally are a creator. You literally have the ability to create and manifest. So part of the denial and the trauma is that it creates this sort of dysfunctional image or dysfunctional vision of the future, which is very disempowering, which is one that does not work. In other words, you're embracing failure. You're embracing fear. You're not embracing safety. You're not embracing that you are whole and complete, and you are not embracing the fact that you have an understanding and grips of the relationship or this type of person. So the degree that you can have the courage to look at in the face and say this was not right. I let this go for too long. So if you can give responsibility to yourself and grow in responsibility, this is not like a one video, a one day, a one moment thing. You have to grow in your courage to face that and say, whoa, and call it what it was. Call a spade a spade. That, relationship was, this person was this. This is how I reacted, and this is how I emerged but now that I've emerged, this is where I want to go. And I can embrace that with clarity and with enthusiasm and passion and assurance and confidence. But until you are completely assured, convinced, and believe in your heart and have a vision that is self-supporting and big enough, then you're going to have a small, you're going to feel small. You're going to feel that you're not living to your potential. You're unhappy. You're living out of a self-limiting belief. So be willing to understand and have the courage to face it, confront it, break it open, and to say, okay, I see what it is. I'm willing to let go of the weakness and now live in strength. You can do this. Let go of the weakness. This is your buddy, Peace and Harmony, with you here today. And I hope that these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe and please donate for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support. Peace out. Have a beautiful day. You got this.